There's an interesting pot. Washed up, by the looks of it. Never seen one like that before. Just made out of a barrel, made out of a bread basket, and bits of old crab pot. Pretty neat. So we are down the beach again, and it's quite windy, although it's not too bad. It might get a bit windy when we get further out, and it's supposed to be torrential rain coming. It has actually cleared up. For the moment we've driven down it, it's been raining since yesterday. I didn't go yesterday because the weather was so bad, but today they're giving tons and tons of rain from about sort of now. And as you can see, fully kitted up with the jacket, the waders, the works, just to keep sort of dry as much as possible. Now I've got the Shakespeare waders. I have actually sort of repaired a little bit of a spidgy repair on the outside there, but I have repaired the inside. I've put wader patching, I've put neoprene, pretty much 3 layers on the inside and a couple of layers on the outside, so we'll see if that does anything. If not, we're going to get awfully wet again. I might have to make a bigger hole to let the water out again. I might just tear the wellies off and just go with the without the waders at all. We'll see. Look at that tiny baby cast-off shell, the spider crab. That is tiny. It just occurred to me right now that I forgot my gloves. The brain's not working again. Never mind. We'll do without them. We're only down here for a feed anyway. If I was down here trying to collect loads, I'd probably have my gloves on, because obviously the rocks will wear on the hands. So I will attempt to keep the camera dry as much as possible, but if it pours with rain, honestly it is going to get wet. There's not much I can do about it. We'll see. We'll see how we get on anyway. A little crab wash. Go and have a look. Trouble is, this is what happens when you leave your pots down over winter. That's what happens to metal pots. Well, yeah, it is metal. What's left of metal. Not much you can do with that. Now if I was just casually walking along the beach, I'd take it back up. But I'm going this way. The wrong way. I think that was a... Oh yeah, that's an empty one, but you get loads of these. They wash up, tiddly little things. There's a bigger variety, which is that one there, you see. But yeah, is it a trawl? It's got a grapple on it as well, caught up in it. There's a grapple caught up in it, unless that's just the grapple that they've tried to get the ropes back and then lost the grapple. I don't know, unless it's two things that got snagged up, but that is a giant metal grapple there. You can see the spikes sticking out of it. They use them to tow when they lose their crab pots behind the boat to try and get the lines of crab pots again. Commercial fishermen. You'll see there, this is, I don't know, it's kind of weird, that, isn't it? Oh yeah, the ring's broken off. But yeah, that was some kind of giant grapple that's got caught up in a load of rope. But normally this is like ship's mooring rope, this stuff. Look at that splice. That is a huge rope. And just look at my hand against it. Some kind of great big mooring rope. Possibly some kind of other mooring rope that snagged on the way in. Right, let's find out if these waders leak. I'm not looking forward to this. Give it a sec. I won't go too deep just yet. They seem alright at the moment, although it may take a bit of time for the dampness to get through my jeans. So we'll stay out the water for now anyway until we have to go in it. I think I just found a small one. Let's have a look. Yeah, a little one on that rock there. Cuttlefish bone, good for your budgies. Find out how deep this is. Hopefully not too deep. Getting a little deep. Don't know if you've ever seen these things before. Don't know if I've ever showed one. Little sucker fish. Hold on, I'll grab him. He sucks to everything, and he'll suck to your hand. There we go, suck to the finger. Just check that you're getting this, because all this rain. A couple of little electric blue tops to him. Lovely little things. You find them, they got this like sucker underneath there. Underneath there, I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't want to stay upside down. Back. There you go. He'll find his way. Nope. Nothing. Oh, there's one, look, under that little stone. Absolute beauty, that one. We'll get him in a sec. So I lift this rock here. It looks unlifted, but just turn the camera down to it. Anything there? There is, I can see one. Yeah, it's a big one. If I can get that one off. Right, we've got that one off. I'm going to use this rock to prop that rock like that. There's another one underneath it. There's a big one down the side. Right, let's get it. There you go, another big one, well, medium to large. There's a small one I want to try and get off because I might crush it if I put the rock back. Right, he's off. This is a little one, you see. Right, let's double check this rock. Make sure I'm not going to crush anything. Okay. There you go, we've got two. First two, and decent sizes as well. Little baby one, pie crust. Move it so it doesn't get squashed. Wow, just missed a big top knot. Couldn't hold on to it, I was holding the rock. It was like that, lovely big one. Oh, rock. I missed the big top knot, but I got the small one. Yeah, there's a top knot about 4 times the size of this one. This little one here. Back. I'll show you this one because it's a big one. I'll zoom in as much as I can, or get as close as I can with it. It's right in there. That lump you see sticking out where my hook is there. That's a big one. A big abalone. I'm on the wrong side of the shell for it, which makes it much harder to get out. I can get it from here, I think. Yeah. There we go. It's coming out. There we go. Nice big one. Right, big bag. We're doing alright. We've got 3 now. Down under this rock here. There's 2 actually. Might not be big enough. That one's small. That one looks maybe small. There's a big one to the left there. Yeah, that one looks a bit small. Oh, it's right on the gauge. So I'm going to put it back, but I'm not going to put it back in this hole. I'll fling him out over there in the water, and he'll find his way, because if somebody else comes along, they might say, oh, I'll have that. And they're not going to get it. But there's a nice big one further back, so get to that one. Oh, there's actually 2 more. Quite a few under this rock, but I think only one's going to be big enough to actually. I don't know. I'll show you. I'm getting in there. See if I can spot. See one over there? There's one behind that little weed. That one. There's one there, and we just took one out. But they are all too small. One. Definitely big enough. Which is that one. Keeping up there. I mean, the other one could be sized, but to be honest, I'm not going to even try because that's big enough. The other one is probably sized, but it's not going to be sized by much. I'll just put a rock in front so if anybody comes along, they might accidentally miss that one. Because, like I say, it is on the smooth side, so no point taking it really. Let it grow a bit bigger. There's plenty around now. Not to bother too much with the smaller size anyway. Right, well, as you can see here, I took the sound off. Now what it was is there was so much rain, it was muffling the sound and it was horrible. So I decided to just do a voiceover for this last part of the video. Here we're actually finding another ormer. Again, this is in a crevice. We call it cricking when you find them in the holes like this. Now this ormer is actually legal. It is over the size limit. It's only over by a few millimeters, but it is a legal ormer. And I decided to give the camera a quick wipe because obviously it's raining all the time. Now what I decided to do with this ormer, I did this with all the small ones. I decided I'll put this one back, even though it's legal. I'm not going to take the small ones today. I only want some of the big ones, so I will pop that back into its crevice again. So it'll grow to be a nice big one, hopefully. Now again, this is another set of crevices. I point to one just to the left there. There's actually not a small one on the left. I won't show it, but there is small ormers there. And the one I'm going after is a decent one. There was a couple under these crevices, but like I say, I only wanted the larger ones. And that one was big enough. This hole here, I put the hook under and actually there was a big splash in there. Now I think it may have been a conger eel, but I didn't bother trying to get it out. I just had a feel around to see if there was a lobster. The hole was far too deep. If you're going to go for lobster, you really want a much longer hook. I've got only the ormering hook. That's how you can often tell who's out for lobster and who's out for ormer, just by the length of the hook they're carrying. And this was an interesting crevice. There's quite a few small ones around this crevice or this area. And there's coming up one right in the middle of the screen, small ormer there. And at the top of the screen there, that is actually a scallop. It's a small species of scallop that actually lives in the crevices of rocks. And here, these are ormers that are just sitting on top of the rocks. On my way back, I came across ormers just literally sitting there. Now, normally they're under the rocks when the tide goes out. Obviously, when the tide comes in, they do come on top of the rocks because they graze and eat the seaweed. But it was just very odd seeing them. I found the odd one before on top of a rock, but I found several sitting on top of the rocks. The only thing I can think of, it was so wet that day, they hadn't even realised the tide had gone out. And I'm just looking under just to show that there's nothing under there. Important that the rocks get turned back, because if you don't, they actually die if you leave them upturned. The sunlight kills it, or other obviously fish and things will eat the eggs, and that's the end of them. And that's just a brown crab I came across. And there is another gatherer just walking along. There's a chap who's actually doing his mooring, but he came along to see if he could find an ormers. And there's another abalone just sitting there on top of the rock, out in the open. Now this is the cockles or the clams we find. I personally don't bother with them. The ormer tastes much better than these, so why would I want these? But you can eat them if you want to. So I don't know if you can see outside. Look at the weather. That's why I stopped filming. It got so bad, I started chatting to a friend on the beach, so yeah. So I ended up taking 12. I took the biggest ones. I put everything small back, or anything just over the size. I didn't bother with any of that. 12 decent ones, that's fine. That'll be perfect. Now unfortunately at the end there I saw a guy diving. I say diving, he was literally kicking his feet to go down underwater to get these, and that is basically illegal as far as I know. And he shouldn't have been doing that. And I would have confronted him, but he was out so far out and I couldn't get out on the reef. It's too far out even for me to go. But never a sea fisheries officer around when you need one. Anyway, I might have it on film, I might have shown it, we'll see. But it was a successful trip, even if it was a bit damp.